Thanks, Goose. Hex, according to most movies and games, the apocalypse is coming, and it's going to be a brown, dusty, hellish nightmare where groups of bandits kill me, or force me to join them, or force me to join them and then kill me and then eat me. I can't wait.
But before it turns into that wasteland, maybe it'll look a little something like this. An abandoned English village where everybody's gone to the rapture.
The event has left markers. We don't understand it yet, but we're going to keep working to try and understand it. The answers are in the light.
Developed by the Chinese Room, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture is their follow-up to Dear Esther, which was a slow, melancholic experiment in narrative and mood.
Those islands in the distance, I'm sure, are nothing more than relics of another time. Sleeping giants, somnambulist gods laid down for a final dreaming.
You play as someone. An unknown person who starts the game looking out over the serene, idyllic village of Yorton. The kind of town you might move to when you retire, or the kind of town you want to move away from if you were born there.
Well, pretty much everyone who was born there has got out, because the entire place is deserted. Cars abandoned in the street, houses and shops left unlocked.
Hello?
Even the cows are missing, Hex.
Yeah, I mean, apparently there could be a bunch of cows up in heaven right now with all the salt licks they could hope for.
And it's this mystery that is the center of this entire game.
Yeah, where did all the cows go?
Yes, them and everyone else. And it's your job to figure it out, but you're not alone, at least not technically. Mysterious balls of light are scattered around the town, and they trigger echoes of conversations between citizens before you arrived.
People need somewhere to talk, to feel safe.
Perhaps they don't think that your church is somewhere they feel particularly safe.
And it has to be said, these conversations are superbly voice acted.
So I told you it would get stuck.
Should have just taken the cards. It was a stupid idea.
I mean, the game is full of dialogue, and the acting is some of the best I've heard in years.
I came to see if I could borrow a ladder.
Bloody hell, there's a 12-foot drop the other side of that wall.
I'm old, but I'm not useless, no. Can I borrow the ladder?
No one said you were useless.
You get the sense that these are real people who have real lives.
Except they're not, because everybody's gone to the rapture.
Or maybe they haven't. One of the first conversations you have in the game hints that maybe there's something more scientific than spiritual here. And throughout the game, the characters you encounter struggle with these two ideas constantly.
Your lot up at Vallis have never mixed with the local community. People here, they don't really understand what you do up there.
Are you trying to get me to come to your church?
And while the ideas behind the plot are interesting, there is one major issue I had with this game right from the start. You know what I'm going to say, don't you, Hex?
Yeah, the walking.
Oh, the walking. There's so much walking. Anytime you're not talking to a ball of light, you're just walking. And that is a lot. It is a literal drag. Off we go. Chasing the balls. Dun 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 dun. Picking up speed, picking up speed. Oh, come on. It's an apocalypse, run faster. Maybe I'm a robot and I'm just really heavy. Maybe I'm overburdened. Maybe I need to dump some iron daggers.
Yes, there is a lot of walking, but you can run a bit as well.
Not that you would have known.
No, you're right. I think in the rush to get this game out the door, the developers maybe just forgot to add that to the control menu. So no one knew it existed, and no one noticed because to run, you hold down R2, but you don't start running until you build up some momentum, which doesn't happen for about 5 seconds.
I can't believe they forgot to tell the player they could run. I do think it is a pretty rubbish run mechanic though. It doesn't actually speed up the pace of the game much at all. I found it fiddly and buggy, and by the time you manage to get a full run going, you've already reached where you need to be, which makes it a bit pointless. Call me shallow, Hex, but the pace of this game is actually a deal breaker for me.
You're shallow, Barjo.
No, I'm not.
Well, it didn't bother me at all. I mean, for me, playing games like this is kind of like a dream. You're just slowly drifting through, and if you had to sprint through the whole thing, it would just ruin the ambience.
I don't think so. I don't like being forced to go slow just so I can absorb game design. I think I can handle it. I can take it in going at my own pace. Plus, I wouldn't be frustrated all the time. Slow. No problem. But at least while you're slowly walking around, you can enjoy the game's environment, which is nothing short of spectacular.
Yeah, it's a proper town, Barjo. I just feel like I'm walking through an entirely real space, except with even better lighting than we'd get with our boring normal eyes in real life. And as the game progresses, you leave the main village area and head into the woods, and then up to a collection of cottages, and down to a holiday park. It's just such an organic flow to the layout of the game that it doesn't feel constructed. Yeah, to me, this village does exist somewhere.
And it's just stunning. The PS4 is really getting a chance to stretch its legs here. Every shadow in this game is my favourite shadow in any game. The detail is extraordinary. I guess since the devs were creating a game in a contained area with minimal interaction, they had the time to make sure every phone is grimy, every door has paint chips flecked off, every butterfly is dancing its own majestic everyone is dead but me dance. If the apocalypse is this good looking, bring it on.
Yeah, it's almost distractingly realistic, and the sound design is also impeccable. Since the whole town is deserted, the game uses silence in a really effective way. Throughout the course of the game, I became conscious of just how much noise I was making. It really adds to the idea that you're an intruder.
The valley, Stephen, everything was simply irrelevant. An idea of something, not a something itself.
You aren't supposed to be here.
You're not. You're not supposed to be here because everybody's gone to the Rapture.
Yeah, we get it.
And the music. Every time it swelled up, I was biting back Pixar tears. To me, it was honestly the most exciting part of this game, but I just wish there was more to do. It felt so empty.
Yeah, but that's the point. Everyone's dead.
I know, but I just felt like I spent 4 hours walking around a pretty painting, listening to people talk. We've seen games like this before with Dear Esther and Gone Home, but at least in Gone Home, you could interact with almost everything. With this, I felt like I was visiting my grandmother's house. Everything's pretty and looks like it belongs to someone who has recently died, but you mustn't touch, Barjo.
Well, for me, the mystery pulled me through until the end. I mean, there may not be a lot of action in it, but they dish out the story beats fast and thick.
Oh, Amanda, I thought you'd left town.
Every conversation teaches you something new about these characters and what happened here. These people were confronted with something beyond their understanding and reacted like people do in that scenario, with fear, confusion, but also with love and camaraderie.
Do you understand? No, we can't turn it away. It's come too far.
It's a game where you watch people overcome their flaws in the face of great loss.
They've taken my shoe, sir.
Howard? Howard Lantham! You open the door this instant, young man.
And in the end, I found I was reflecting on my own life as much as those of the others in the game. It was all very moving. I'm giving this 4 out of 5 stars.
I wish I could enjoy this kind of game in the way you do, Hex, but I just don't. And I do have a deep respect for this game and what it's setting out to do, but I just think it has major problems in the way that it forces me to absorb information. I find that really frustrating, and I felt like more of a spectator than a participant, so I'm giving it 2.5 stars.
Everything will be all right. Just try and calm down and tell me where Neil and the children are.
They're upstairs.